for us. And just to clarify, it is the precision breeding, the gene editing that we are in support of, which obviously the outcome there is indistinguishable from a naturally bred variety. You are just speeding up that process faster. So, with those caveats, we do need to do more work to understand what the markets think. We do, and what does it take? What is the consumer acceptance? We need to spend more time with growers because the process is fast, and there are growers who have concerns. Growers who are supportive, but also growers who do have a number of questions. So before we make a decision, even should the technology be allowed, before we make any decision on whether or not to incorporate it into the breeding program, we have a pretty significant industry discussion to have, and we will be bringing forward the views of growers to the government to consider as well.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the name kiwifruit as your product, you would think that you'd be on the front line of any fallout in our reputation as a nation for producing natural, sustainable food. So therefore, surely your investigation into the market risks or perception risks of a vast number of overseas consumers, surely we'd want to be doing that before we pass this sort of legislation.
Yeah, we're clear on that. We think we've got to take the time to make sure we understand fully those implications. That is, like I say, it's customers, and so the supermarket chains, the people that we sell to, it's consumers, and there is also the market access bit. And then as private businesses, we are focused on customers and consumers, but also there's a role to play for the government, obviously, in looking at it from a market access perspective. But we do think we need it's a big topic, and it's it's an important one to get right. So we have also said that it's important to take our time to consider all of those things before we make the call.
Do you think the current time frame is doing that, or it's feel a bit rushed?
I think our sense is we are early in the discussion with the industry. Our sense is the industry needs more time, but I think yeah. So whether the time frame is too short, it depends on what the government can get done in that time. I think, but I think in principle, we're just saying make sure we do answer those questions, take the time to have the discussion, to make sure we take people with us, we answer questions, because it is important that people have trust in the process.
Good, another stop if that's okay.
Yep.
Would a sensible sort of median ground be not permit environmental release until such time, if this legislation does get passed, not permit environmental release until such time as that trade and market access risk has been fully understood?
I would just say before we make decisions, whether I guess I don't have a comment on that one. I think more broadly, we just need to make sure we take the time to understand those things properly before the final decisions are made. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a view on sort of interim outcomes. I just think in principle, broadly, we are saying take the time with the conversation to make sure we reassure ourselves.
Do you market any product overseas now or how much of your product? I know you do organic, but do you market any as non-GMO anywhere?
No, we talk specifically about it for us. We say our breeding program is all natural and that we don't have any GMO in the breeding program. And our position on that is the same. We are supportive of precision breeding in principle, but not GMO. That won't be used in our breeding program.
In terms of your current markets, such as Japan or what have you, where do you think that sort of sensitivity to a GMO component is most acute?
We're still doing that market research, so it is something we will be willing to share, but we're still going through that process now. So I don't want to preempt it. It's something we need to share with growers as well.
What feedback, if any, have you had, or with Māori growers and iwi so far?
We are discussing with Māori growers and iwi. Again, we were just discussing this today. It's a process that's ongoing, but we're collating that feedback now. But once we do have a representative view, we'll bring that back. But like I say, broadly, it is there is a lot of support in the industry, but also questions in the industry, particularly around market access on the trade side of things, but also wanting to make sure that they have trust in the regime and in the process.
Yeah, off the top of your head, if we were to have a gene-edited kiwi fruit, you don't imagine that you'd be marketing it as that overseas. Like, would you be saying GM kiwi fruit from New Zealand?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't offer that off the top of my head. We make a lot of we invest a lot in understanding these things before we make those calls. But like I said, we wouldn't be monitoring. We won't be doing GMOs, so we certainly won't be promoting it as that way. But yeah, any decisions around branding, any decision around our time frame is longer. Obviously, the government can legislate, but our decision on whether or not to include it in the breeding program, would be on a longer time frame because we'd need to spend some time understanding the opportunity and the science and those sorts of things. So we're a long way from making those calls. So sorry, Steve, I know I can't give you a view on that one.